Cyber attacks, whether financially or politically motivated, can have enormously far-reaching consequences. Cybersecurity has become an increasingly important geopolitical consideration in the 21st century. When this barrier is breached, the consequences. But before we talk about it, if you are new to our channel, welcome to 1%. Here we will give you only facts, so if you want more of that, leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more informative and interesting videos. Let's dive into the top 10 unbelievable cyber attacks of all time. On number 10, cyber attacks on Estonia, 2007. Hybrid warfare has become a widely used term in the recent years. The exact meaning of the concept is hazily understood, but it typically refers to a form of non-standard warfare that combines a variety of irregular non-kinetic tactics. When Estonia was subject to a significant cyber attack in 2007, cyber warfare was still a relatively new component of the mix of the hybrid warfare. The attack occurred after Estonian authorities decided to relocate a bronze memorial of a Soviet soldier from the center of Tallinn to a military cemetery on the outskirts of the city. This decision caused a significant destabilization of the Baltic state infrastructure and economy, and resulted in a nationwide communication breakdown, banking failures and media blackouts. The move sparked 2 nights of rioting and looting in Estonia, infuriating large sections of the country's Russian-speaking population. The cyber attack that followed threw Estonia into chaos. One distinguishing feature of cyber warfare is that it's frequently unclear who is orchestrating an attack. This was certainly the case with the 2007 Estonian attack. While it was widely assumed that Russia was to blame, concrete evidence was difficult to come by. Only 10 years later, an Estonian government official told the BBC, under the condition of anonymity, the evidence suggests the attack was orchestrated by the Kremlin, and malicious gangs then seized the opportunity to join in and do their own bit to attack Estonia. On number 9, SolarWind Cyber Attack 2020. A cyber attack on an unprecedented scale. The Sunburst attack on SolarWind, a major software company based in Tulsa, Oklahoma, sent shockwaves through America in 2020. The attack entailed a supply chain breach involving SolarWind's Ariane software, which is used by many multinational companies and government agencies. By sneaking malware code that came to be known as Sunburst onto a routine Ariane update, the hackers, thought to be directed by the Russian espionage operation, gained unfettered access to thousands of organizations, including the US government, for what is known to be up to 14 months. On number 8, Ukraine PowerGrid attack 2015. The cyber attack on Ukrainian PowerGrid gave the world an early taste of Russia's capacity to engage in far-reaching cyber warfare as part of its ongoing effort to destabilize its neighbor. Carried out a year after the annexation of Crimea, widely regarded as the moment when Russia's war with Ukraine effectively began. This complex attack is notable for being the first successful cyber attack on a power grid. The attack, which is attributed to the Russian cyber military unit Sandworm, began when the Prikipati Ablenergo control center fell victim to a cyber breach. The infiltration enabled hackers to seize control of a substation's computer system and take it offline. Attacks on further substations quickly followed. Ultimately, 200 to 230,000 Ukrainian citizens are estimated to have been impacted by the attack. On number 7, NotPetya malware attack 2017. 2 years after the Ukraine PowerGrid attack, Sandworm struck again, this time with a malware attack that, while almost certainly focused on Ukraine, inflicted enormous collateral damage across the globe. It is estimated that organizations collectively lost 1 billion as a result of the attack. NotPetya was so named because it initially resembled a ransom attack called Petya, which was named after a weapon system in the James Bond film GoldenEye. But NotPetya proved to be more significant and virulent threat. Like the WannaCry ransomware that also caused global havoc in 2017, it utilized the Windows Server message block SMB exploit to spread more rapidly. Interestingly, although NotPetya gave the impression of being ransomware attack, clues quickly began to suggest that the motives of its creator were more political than financial, and that Ukraine was their main target. One such clue was the software used to initiate the infection was the Ukrainian tax software, MEDOC, which is used throughout the country. As a result, 80% of NotPetya infections were estimated to have occurred in Ukraine. On number 6, WannaCry ransomware attack 2017. Carried out in the same year as NotPetya, the notorious WannaCry ransomware attack employed similar methodology, but if anything, the impact was even more far-reaching. Like NotPetya, WannaCry propagated via the Windows exploit Eternal Blue, which was stolen and leaked a few months prior to the attack. Many of the organizations that fell victim to WannaCry had yet to implement recently released patches that were designed to close the exploit. WannaCry worked by automatically spreading across networks, infecting computers, then encrypting data, and demanding a ransom, $300 in Bitcoin within 3 days or $600 within 7 days to decrypt that data. The scale of the WannaCry attack was enormous, with Europol estimated that around 200,000 computers were infected across 150 countries. In the UK, it had a particularly alarming impact on the NHS, infecting 70,000 devices, including computers, MRI scanners, and other theater equipment. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the attack sparked an inquest into apparent NHS cybersecurity flaws. On number 5, Colonial Pipeline Company ransomware attack 2021. The Colonial Pipeline hack demonstrated that much of the company's infrastructure remains highly vulnerable, and the government and companies must work harder to prevent future hacks, senators said during the hearing. Security experts call the usage of a single-factor login system a sign of poor cybersecurity hygiene. They recommend two-factor authentication, which requires a secondary measure like a mobile text or a hardware token. And most major companies require this across all internal applications. Perhaps the most shocking thing about this cyber attack is the fact that it supposedly took just one compromised password to disable the largest petroleum pipeline in America for several days. On the 7th of May 2021, the Colonial Pipeline Company reported that it had fallen prey to a cyber attack involving ransomware and had been forced to take its pipeline, which supplies about half of the East Coast gasoline, offline. The potential impact of a prolonged disruption was deemed serious enough to justify paying the hackers, an Eastern European outfit called DarkSide, $4.4 million worth of Bitcoin. On number 5, Kaseya supply chain ransomware attack 2021. This ransomware attack echoed the SolarWind's hack in that it targeted MSP's managed service provider to achieve a far-reaching impact. Breach an MSP and you can compromise far more than one company. In June 2021, Kaseya, a Florida-based IT management software provider used by numerous MSPs, was hit by a supply chain ransomware attack. The hackers, identified as the ransomware gang Rival, had pushed a malware to Kaseya's global customer base via a phony update for its virtual system administration (VSA) solution. The ripple effect was extremely widespread, impacting 60 Kaseya customers, mostly MSPs and their consumers. It has been reported that more than 1,500 companies were affected. On number 3, a cyber attack on Marriott Hotels went unnoticed for years. A cyber attack was lurking in the shadows for quite a while when Marriott acquired the Starwood Hotels group, and it did not come into light until 2018. However, by then the attacker continued to have access to personal information of guests. An estimated 339 million guests have had their data compromised. This has led the UK's data privacy watchdog to fine the Marriott Hotels £18.4 million. On number 2, RockU 2021. In 2021, when a user posted an enormous 100 GB text file on a popular hacking forum in June, they claimed that it contained 82 billion passwords. Tests later found that there were in fact only 8.4 billion passwords in the file, named after the original RockU breach of 2009, which saw hackers leak more than 32 million user passwords. RockU 2021 appeared to be a mind-bendingly huge password collection. Even if it proved not to be quite as massive as billed, 8.4 billion passwords equates to 2 passwords for every online user in the world. It is estimated that there are 4.7 billion people online. Unsurprisingly, the leak triggered widespread panic, but there was a further twist. It transpired that the vast majority of the alleged 8.4 billion leaked passwords were already known. The list was essentially a huge compilation that didn't reveal any freshly compromised passwords. On number 1 and final on our list, the Melissa virus. The Melissa virus became one of the fastest spreading known viruses, leading towards an awareness of the risk and potential damage involved in opening unsolicited email attachments. The virus brought about improvements in online security, while also acting as further inspiration for more potent future viruses. The Melissa virus had such an effect that a few months after its creator was arrested and sentenced to prison, the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI) launched a new National Cyber Division focused on online crimes. A programmer by the name David Lee Smith started the mass mailing macrovirus after taking over an AOL account and used it to send the fast-spreading virus through emails. The Melissa virus was one of the early viruses to gain a lot of attention because it caused an estimated $80 million of damage that required cleanup and repair of the affected computer systems. According to the FBI website, the virus overloaded email services at more than 300 corporations and government agencies, which led to them being shut down entirely. The virus itself reached thousands of computers by sending itself through the email list of the infected device. Today, we have learned about the 10 unbelievable cyber attacks of all time. If you like this video and want us to make more like this, tell us in the comment section below. We would love to see your responses, and make sure to like and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future content. Until then, stay safe.